Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us. I'm here with Paruey Anadirekkul. My name is Robert Zepeda, and we will be having a fireside chat to discuss scaling generative AI for real-world spatial design. So thanks, everyone, for joining. Paruey, maybe you can introduce yourself and give us a bit of background.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me for today's session. My name is Paruey from Spatial AI. I'm the founder and CEO. And what is Spatial AI? So we are a generative design platform that empowers real estate professionals, designers, and architects to transform ideas into precise buildable designs. So we're hopefully redefining how spaces come to life faster, smarter, and more beautifully than ever.
Wow, that sounds fascinating. So you've successfully transformed this industry, or you're in the process of transforming this industry using generative AI. And from what I understand, you have well over 1,000, maybe 1,500 architecture firms from more than 50 countries using your platform. So what are the biggest technical challenges in bridging that gap between what the state-of-the-art AI research capabilities allow and real-world spatial design applications? How do you bridge that gap?
I think we're in the process of building that. And the biggest challenge at the inception, at the beginning, was to build the product itself. But as my journey continues on, I think the biggest challenge wasn't building the product or the AI. It was making it work in the real world. So for that, for us, especially our business, integration is everything because we have to work with legacy systems, existing workflows, and how designers are already working today. And in architecture, AI isn't just about, generating something that looks good. I mean, it's important to generate something that looks beautiful, looks good, but it also has to fit and function in a real space. And I think that's the real difference between art and design, where design isn't just beautiful, it has to work.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, because generative AI is kind of this new type of technology. And so Spacely AI essentially uses generative AI to transform 2D floor plans into fully furnished 3D models. And that process reduces manual work by, I think, up to probably 80%. So could you walk us through the core AI architecture that makes this transformation possible? Like, what are the breakthrough moments that led to achieving this level of automation?
I think we really look at the workflow of the designers, and we started with first principles. We look at how 3D plans today are being done, and we pretty much break down the entire process step by step. And then we ask ourselves, like, which of these steps that takes the most time, and can it be automated? And once we knew the target output of what we want, a fully furnished, ready-to-use 3D model of a floor plan, the rest was about choosing the right technology. It can be AI, it can be algorithms to handle each workflow. And I think that was the big breakthrough that allows us to cut up to 80% of the manual work, turning hours into minutes, saving a lot of time, cost, and money. Yeah.
That sounds great. Okay, so how about a bit about your background? I think you used to be, or you're in your background, you were a product owner at SCB10X before founding Spacely AI. So how did that experience in traditional enterprise environments influence your approach to building AI that actually integrates into existing workflows, as you said, rather than just disrupting them entirely? How did your background working in large corporations, large enterprise organizations, how did that experience help you with your new journey with Spacely AI?
I think I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I have founded previous companies before, and when I work in big corporates, it's usually in the teams that are exposed to new technologies and innovation. But I think my time at SEB 10X gave me the foundation to think big, to build something scalable, not just experimental. And it also taught me that innovation works well when it fits into how people are already operating. So instead of trying to disrupt or replace existing tools, we focus a lot on integration, working with the ecosystem, not against it. And I think that's where the insights I got helps me, make something real, something that's scalable happens.
Love that. Okay, cool. So you recently won third place in the SketchUp Global Innovation Challenge as the only Asian startup among 9 finalists. What does this recognition tell us about the readiness of traditional design software platforms to embrace AI integration?
We're the only team from Asia. There are other Asian startups, but they're US based or Australian or UK based. But I think it proves one thing, that even the biggest players, like SketchUp, they are moving fast to embrace AI. And we showed them that AI doesn't have to replace the existing tool; it can enhance them, which it really does. And what we're really replacing isn't the designer, it's the manual labor intensive workflow that slows them down. That's the kind of the transformation the industry is ready for.
Yeah, great. Now I want to talk about scaling AI across traditional industries. So you've achieved 10x revenue growth and recently secured $1 million in seed funding. So for enterprise leaders watching this, what are the key business model decisions that enabled you to scale AI solutions in the traditionally conservative architecture and interior design industry?
I think this is a very difficult question because before, people were used to what they call seat-based subscription. So pretty much you pay for a seat and you have unlimited use. But I don't think that really works when there's AI. So we built Spatial AI around that, where we help modern companies scale based on results first, which is usage based. And I think this model makes a lot of sense for us, especially in a very conservative industry where ROI matters a lot. So we focus the product to be self-serve, you get clear results, and you only pay for that results. And with this, it allows us to have a pretty much a very global business model that anywhere in the world you can understand that you're only paying for results. So yeah, and I think along the way, winning competitions, raising funding gave us the visibility, but I think the real growth for us came from aligning this outcome, this value, with outcomes of the customer.
Yeah, I think that's really fascinating because it seems like many startups are trying to figure out what the right business model should be. And as I understand it, you recently transitioned from, as you said, this unlimited access to a credit-based subscription model, for outcomes or as you stated, which I think is a fascinating case study in AI pricing. So what drove this decision, and what did it teach you about how enterprises are actually consuming AI at scale?
Well, I mean, I think the initial driver at first was just pretty simple. Unlimited AI isn't just sustainable when we haven't raised funding like OpenAI or the other big players. So we limit it on our funding, and we have to be creative. And I think as a startup, every compute cycle matters. We had to make the model work for both our customers and also ourselves. And I think moving to credit-based, usage-based help us align the cost with the results. Customers pay for the outcome, not just endlessly using AI just for the fun of it. And I
Yeah.
think enterprises are learning to consume AI at scale based on value and not volume.
Okay, interesting. I just want to touch on this very, very briefly, but you have clients across the world, over 50 countries. So you're dealing with very diverse design preferences, building codes, cultural considerations, and I think that's absolutely fascinating. That can be one of your unique data moats in some sense, right? So how does your AI adapt to these regional variations? And what does this teach us about building globally scalable AI products?
I think, luckily for us, the design workflow is surprisingly universal. So anywhere you go, you design, refine, and then you build. That means the pain points are quite similar everywhere, whether you're in Bangkok, Berlin, or Boston. And so when we solve this workflow challenge, we're solving a global problem. Of course, culture and style differ, but I think that's where the beauty of AI comes in. It can adapt through prompts or personalizing each space to fit the local needs and individual tastes. So that's why we would still require the designers to be the one who tailors to the cultural nuance of each place. But just one AI can help design or help solve the major pain points universally.
And further to that, you've probably seen some challenges in rolling this out globally. This is traditional industry. There's many countries. So for enterprise decision makers considering AI implementation, what can you share about maybe some of the lessons learned in terms of anything that failed and then how to manage successful adoption? Like what does the failure teach you, and then what have you learned from successfully deploying this?
I think successful adoption starts with just starting, but starting small, measurable, and iterative. I think the winners treat AI as a tool to improve daily work, not like a massive transformation project. And I think the ones that go all in without clear pain points or a realistic expectations of what it can do. And I think real success come from operationalizing this AI and make it part of the everyday habits, not just experience. And I think it's important to remember that AI isn't the solution to everything. It can be a great accelerator for what already works.
Okay, great. So your automation features will generate multiple floor plan layouts and arrange 3D assets in seconds, minutes, right? So how do you see the role of human designers evolving as AI becomes more capable in handling these end-to-end design workflows?
So AI definitely removes repetition, but I don't think it does remove the creativity. Designers will move from, operators, the one who's like drawing the designs, building the 3D models, to more like an orchestrator. I think the real value then comes into the judgment, the taste, and the storytelling of the design that you made. So essentially, we're not replacing creativity. We're removing the friction between imagination and execution. So imagine like a design studio that used to handle, 2 or 3 projects. Now with AI, they could deliver 20 or 30 with the same team, the same resources, or a team that handles 2 to 3 projects, but usually takes 6 months to complete. But what if with AI they can do it in 6 hours? So that level of scale used to sound impossible, and I think we're going towards more of a possible future where a small amount of people and team can pretty much do a lot of things.
And I'm sure you have many case studies, and you actually can show this ROI and this reduction in manual effort and the faster time to value. So I think that's very valuable. So given your success in spatial design AI, what broader lessons can other industries take from your approach to implementing generative AI? What makes spatial design particularly suited for AI transformation? Why spatial design?
I think any field that mixes repetition and creativity is right for AI. Whether there's a repetitive pain point, that's where AI can deliver instant value. And design is full of those moments. Spatial design is perfect fit for us because it's visual, data driven, and very much rule based. There's logic in every layout. For example, like a walkway in your bedroom should not be less than, for example, 80 centimeters wide. And these rules make it ideal for AI to learn and automate and scale. Like, hey, I want to design a bedroom, always leave the walkway for 80 centimeters or longer or wider. And I think the lesson for other industries is simple, like just start where creativity meets the constraint. And that, to me, I think is where AI shines the most.
Start where creativity meets constraint. I really like that. So as we wrap up, what's your vision for the next major breakthrough in AI-powered spatial design? And how can enterprises prepare their teams and processes for that next wave of AI capabilities?
Well, to be honest, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what exactly the next breakthrough will look like, but definitely when I know, I would like to help create it. But I hear people talk a lot about like, super intelligent AI. But I think the real leap is when AI can start to build other AIs, system that can learn and evolve without humans in the loop. And I think in spatial design, that means moving beyond like designing itself. But so like imagine an AI that can only design, but actually build an entire building end to end without any humans in the loop. Um, but I think for most enterprises, they should prepare by becoming the orchestration layer, guiding how these systems work together and who owns the model behind them. And we're likely seeing a lot of, specializing AI, where like one is very good with like bathroom layouts, the other is very good with like commercial kitchen design. And I don't think the future would be like just one AI doing everything. It'll be a network of AIs building the world together.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And if there's any more time, maybe I'll just ask one more question. And essentially, what I'd be very interested to know is, given this new generative AI, and perhaps maybe the companies that are adopting this are deploying it in new buildings, do you think that there will come a time where AI invents or we discover new forms of architecture, new forms of materials, new ways to build buildings? And how does spatially AI play a role in enabling this new transformation?
I think that definitely we would definitely see buildings that we thought might not be possible to build now being built in the near future. And I think that that's actually our core mission as well, where we want to combine AI and human creativity to automate spatial design. So we want to bring spaces to life faster, smarter, and better than anything that's been built today.
I love that. Just the potential of creating more sustainable buildings, more resilient, energy efficient, being able to iterate across many designs and find some new breakthrough. I think that positions you for tremendous success going forward. So thank you very much for giving us your time, telling us your story, and sharing your journey so far. Spacely AI, I think, is one of the leading startups in Thailand and probably also around the region. You're going global, and you are a champion for the local ecosystem. So just want to thank you and wish you all the best, continued success.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having us today.
Thank you very much.